Hi, friends. Today I want to talk about something pretty deeply personal and universally human, grief and loss. And, over the past few weeks, I've been navigating my own journey through grief, the loss of my beloved pet, Roxy, my little Jack Russell, and more recently, my dear friend, Jane. So, Grief is something we all experience at some point in our lives, yet it can feel so super isolating. So, in this video, I just want to share some insights and some tools and perspectives that can help us all move through this process with more understanding and more compassion. And I'm also going to share some tools to prepare you for grief because that is something we all have in common. And that is inevitable that one day we will all experience the experience of grief. So let's talk about the grief and the stages or beyond the stages of grief. So we've all heard of the 5 stages of grief. There's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And these stages were introduced by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she has helped many, many people understand grief. But there's more modern research now that shows that grief is not linear. Grief is more than sadness, right? It's a yearning, a longing for something or someone that is just out of reach. And just imagine this is the best way to describe it. Like, just imagine being so thirsty. It's a super hot day. You are thirsty, so thirsty. You see a glass of water just in front of you, but every time you just reach for that glass, it just moves further away. That feeling of reaching but never grasping, that is very similar to what we experience when we go through grief. So, brain imaging studies show that grief activates the same areas of the brain associated with motivation, craving, and pursuit. So it's not just emotional pain, right? It's a neurological response, a desire for something that we can no longer have in the same way that we once did. Okay, so I want to share some tools for navigating grief because this is something that may help you if you're in that grief journey. So, how do we process grief in a way that allows us to heal while still honoring our loss? Okay, so there's a few steps here. The first one is mapping our relationships and reordering attachments. So, our relationships are mapped in our brains through space, time, and closeness. Okay. Losing someone disrupts that map, which is why grief can feel so disorientating. So maybe just try this exercise. If you just think of someone that you love, and if you wanted to see them, how long would it take? A few minutes, a day or so, right? Now imagine that they traveled across the world. How long would you expect before hearing them? Maybe an hour, they just land on the plane. They're waiting to be let out of the plane, right? How long do you think it would take for that person to be in touch? A day, an hour, a few minutes, right? And finally, ask yourself, how long would it take to find myself? It sounds like a silly question, but the answer should be 0 seconds, right? But this question really helps us to see how we relate to ourselves versus how we relate to others. So it's a good way of mapping our relationships. The second thing we want to do is about healthy processing and adaptive recovery. So we want to dedicate time each day for what I call rational grieving. And this means just allowing yourself to sit with the reality of your loss while also acknowledging the deep connection that you still have with that person or pet or thing. It's important to balance holding on to the love and the memories while also gently letting go of expectations, like waiting for them to walk through the door and that sort of thing, right? The third thing is understanding just why it hurts so much. The pain of grief isn't just emotional, it's also physical, and studies show that grief activates the brain's pain centers and releases chemicals like oxytocin, which intensifies our sense of loss. And this is why grief can feel like a deep ache and emptiness or even a physical exhaustion. So it's important to understand that it's natural that it hurts this much, and this is quite a normal process that you're going through. The fourth thing is prioritizing sleep and self-care. It sounds obvious, but sleep is crucial during grief. It helps to regulate emotions and process those memories and support neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to adapt and heal. I personally use a natural sleep remedy with reishi and ashwagandha and cacao. This is something that has been really important to me as I'm 50, in my 50s, and I have noticed just how much I need that extra support in my system. So maybe that's something that you want to look into, is finding some supplements that will really support you in getting a decent sleep and helping you to feel calm throughout your nervous system. So that's what I use. The fifth thing is breathwork and nervous system regulation. So breathwork, it's a powerful tool, and it really helps to support our nervous system during grief. So a simple exercise that you can use is to simply inhale deeply for 4 counts and then hold for 4 counts. And then gently exhale for 6 counts. So this 4, 4, and 6 really helps to calm the nervous system, and it kind of creates this beautiful space for healing. So I do this every night, and you might want to practice this throughout the day. I do have another video called 3 Minutes with the Divine, and that really helps to just pause throughout your day and really connect into your own divine guidance, because sometimes the chaos of our feelings of loss and grief, whether we've lost someone through death, or maybe it's a loss through divorce or a friendship or some other kind of loss in relationship. So these breathing exercises really help with that. Now, if you're anticipating a loss, whether it's a loved one nearing the end of their journey or the end of a relationship, you can prepare yourself by firstly reducing stress through mindfulness and breath work. The second thing you want to do is start creating a strong sense of self-connection, so that when loss happens, you have a strong anchor within yourself. Self-connection comes with just spending positive and nurturing time with yourself, building your self-resilience by using some personal growth strategies. And if you follow along, you're going to get plenty of those types of tools and strategies on my channel. And it also helps in that we seek support. So grief is not meant to be carried alone. So if you are feeling the need for support, maybe join a grief and loss support group, or seek some help with a therapist. And that's really going to help you on your journey, and it's going to help you to build that resilience and that self-connection. So grief is a journey, it's not a destination. We need to remember this. It really changes us, but it doesn't have to break us. And by understanding the science behind grief and practicing self-care and allowing ourselves to process loss in a really healthy way, we can move forward with love and resilience and grace. And if you're going through grief right now, just know that you're not alone. And I would like to invite you to comment below on this video and just share your thoughts and experiences so that we can all create a community together of support. And if you would like a simple breathwork meditation to support you, just comment breathwork below and I'll send it out to you. I also have a free ebook on overcoming trauma. So if you would like that, just put your hand up in the comments and I will be in touch to send out the link for you to access that for free. Look, if you need deeper support, I encourage you to get some counselling. If you are wanting to get some counselling sessions with me, you can find my details on my website, which I will link in the description. So sending you love and strength and healing, and just know that you're not alone.